Oh, I feel like I'm 60. Yeah, you have to do cardio. 45 minutes at the exact heartbeat between 99 and 150. But I hate cardio. Are you sometimes easy out of breath? Maybe when you walk up some stairs, or even when you tie your shoes, or when you and your partner are, If that's the case, I will show you today a unique way to improve your endurance without running, swimming, cycling, or some other kind of cardio. And at the end of this video, I will show you a test that you can do right now to see how good your endurance and breathing is right now. Welcome to this video. My name is Bob. I'm a health and performance coach for highly successful and high achieving individuals, such as entrepreneurs and executives. And in today's video, we're going to talk about endurance. First of all, let me tell you a story how I discovered all of that. So in my early 20s, oh my God, I sound like grandpa.
When I was in your age.
But back in the days, I did competitions in boxing, which is a sport which requires a huge amount of endurance and condition. And at that time, I was training 6 times per week. So I was actually in a really good shape. But believe it or not, in some daily activities, such as maybe walking in a faster pace or just simply walking up some stairs, I was so quickly out of breath. And I also noticed in my sport that my endurance and my condition wasn't honestly my biggest strength. And at the same time, simultaneously, I was participating in my study of fitness economics. And right at the time, I was reading a lot of books related to training and nutrition. And one of the books I discovered was from Patrick McEwen. And it is called The Oxygen Advantage. And to be honest, it not just completely changed my sports performance, but also my recovery and my overall health. So what was the thing that this book told was basically that my breathing was completely wrong. And that was the main case that I had such a bad stamina. To explain it for you, let's have a close look what exactly happens when you get out of breath. Well, breathing is simply an exchange. So you inhale O2 and you exhale CO2. What happens now when you walk up some stairs, go on the treadmill, or do some row skip? Your muscles use oxygen, and as a byproduct, the amount of CO2 in the blood increases. So your body has some receptors which notice when CO2 rises and give the signal to your brain to increase the breathe frequency. So you breathe more to get out CO2 and to lower CO2 levels in your blood. And most of us think that we need as much oxygen and as little CO2 as possible in order to get as much oxygen delivered to the organs and to the muscles. And this is completely wrong. And now it gets really interesting, because when we are breathing too much, our CO2 levels get too low. And what happens when the CO2 levels get too low? Our body can't use oxygen efficiently. So baseline, if we are breathing too much, our stamina gets worse. Okay, I got it. Maybe you get a little bit skeptical right now, because why is breathing too much worsening my stamina? Let's do a short experiment together. While you're watching this video, after your next exhalation, stop and hold your breath for a few seconds. And what do you notice? Maybe your stomach or your neck is a little bit contracting. Maybe you feel that general air hunger. And this is happening because when you don't breathe, the CO2 level in your blood rises. And the receptors detect that increase in CO2 and send the signal through the brain, please breathe. So for most of us, these receptors doesn't tolerate that much CO2. And therefore, we are so quickly out of breath. And especially mouth breathing leads to too much CO2 exhalation and therefore worsening our CO2 capacity. And I will show you a test how you can assess your personal CO2 capacity in a few seconds. But just to make it clear, this is why so many people don't make progress in their endurance when they simply try to improve it by running. Look at the most people when they go out and running. They are breathing like dogs in summer and therefore worsening their CO2 capacity. But well, does it really make a huge difference in the way how we breathe or how much we breathe? Trust me, it really does. During my career in the fitness industry, I was also working, for example, with some professional athletes. I remember, for example, a professional boxer. She came to me with a problem that she has huge endurance problems during her fights, no matter how hard she trains. So I did the BOLT test with her, which I will show you in a minute, and it was pretty bad. So we just worked on her breathing. So we maintained nose breathing and did some kind of breath hold exercises. And within a few months, she had no more problem with her stamina and if won the German national title in professional boxing. And I also had that with some of the entrepreneurs that I work with. So they are sometimes running 3 times per week, but still, when they do some kind of physical activity, they have the feeling that they are completely out of shape. And the simple reason is wrong breathing. So let's check now how good is your breathing. We're gonna do this to a so-called BOLT test, the body oxygen level test. You don't need anything but your time, and just make sure that you don't eat anything right before. And it works like this. Simply breathe through your nose. So no deep breath, just breathe normal. After exhalation, hold your breath and start the time. And then simply wait till you notice the first signals of your body. For example, air hunger, tightening of the stomach, muscle tension in the neck. And when your body gives you the very first signal, stop the timer and continue breathing normal. Really important. This is not a maximum breath hold test. So you should be able, after stopping the timer, to normalize your breathing within 2 or 3 breaths. So please stop and do the test right now before we get into the evaluation. So, did you complete? Really good. Now I want you to comment, because I'm really interested, how many seconds did you reach? Just set it down in the comments below. So if you're under 10 seconds, this is really bad. There's really much work necessary for you to do, because then breathing, to be honest, is not your main and not your own issue. It can also be that you're maybe overweight, or you simply eat way too much processed foods, or maybe you're smoking, or you simply really didn't take care of your overall health. So then you should definitely address these problems. So you should use weight, you should start an exercise program, and you should definitely just take care of your overall health. If you are between 10 and 20 seconds, percentage is high that breathing is your main issue, because you're most likely to be a mouth breather. So your biggest priority in that case is to maintain nose breathing throughout the day and night. For the night, you can use so-called medical mouth taps to ensure that you're breathing through the nose the entire night. 20 to 30 seconds. Your stamina is good, but still some room left for improvement. You should also maintain nose breathing throughout the day and night, but you can also start to train your CO2 capacity. For example, you can do some kind of cardio session, running, cycling, also hiking or swimming, but you can use something like a mouth tape to maintain nose breathing, or just exclusively breathe through the nose in that session. 30 to 40 seconds. Then it's most likely that you have really good stamina. And then you can start to improve that with some breath hold exercises. For example, this is a protocol that I give to my clients. Take a walk or even a slow jog, and first of all, breathe through your nose. Then exhale, hold your breath and count your steps. And when you have to breathe again, remember the number of steps that you accomplish without breathing. After that, after you have to continue breathing, just try to minimize your breathing for more 10 seconds in order to keep that air hunger. So you want to maintain this increased air hunger for about 10 seconds. After that, breathe normal for a minute. Do this for at least 10 minutes or 10 rounds, up to 20 minutes or 20 rounds. And if you're over 40 seconds, congratulations, you entered the Champions League. Or you simply did the test wrong. So please go back to the instruction and do the test once again. If you're reaching this, you should have an excellent stamina. I remember last year I coached an entrepreneur who was also participating in a triathlon. And we got his BOLT test to close to 40 seconds, and he accomplished his triathlon with excellence. So if you want to run a marathon or triathlon, improving your breathing is the top and main priority for you. So that's it for today's video. I hope you like it. If so, if you got some value out of it, then subscribe to that channel. And if you have some individual questions, don't hesitate to drop me a DM on Instagram at Marvin Koenig. So that's it for today, high performers. See you soon.